Representative Mike Tobash, Schuylkill and Northern Dauphin County. I'm here at the farm show again this year, which is an exciting time of the year, right? So we start our calendar year here in Harrisburg, and I'm honored to be with Secretary Russell Redding, our Secretary of Ag. He's been doing outstanding work, and we're really gratified to be working together. I'm on the Ag Committee, and quite a number of years, every now and then we get to compete here at the farm show also in some of the events, and looking forward to that tonight, the draft horse racing competition.
Somehow you always do better in that than I do, but it's always good to see you.
Well, I pay attention to the owners of the animals, and they guide me through the course, so I'm lucky, I think. Yeah. But anyway, there's a couple things I'd like to talk about this year that really pertain to the ag, the farm show, but really more to ag in general. Yeah. And I think really the first one is I'm getting a lot of feedback from the district about the WIP, right? So the water quality standards that we have got to uphold with the Chesapeake Bay requirements and how that's affecting Pennsylvania, your department, and really, more importantly for me in Pennsylvania, is how it's affecting our ability to produce food on the farm and how that gets to people's tables.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's at the top of the list as we enter 2018 of worries, right? Because we've got this looming question of how do you actually reduce nitrogen, phosphorus in the sediment to a level that's going to allow us to be sort of within the limits, within this diet, that the EPA has set for this issue. And we have never said, hey, we can't do it or we won't do it. It's just how do you do it, just given the economics of agriculture at the moment and the scale of this problem. So we're working hard at it. We'll have to submit by late spring sort of Pennsylvania's plan. Within that plan, 70% of the nitrogen reductions have to come from agriculture. So it's not something we take lightly. I think we have to be pretty honest that we're going to struggle to meet that number, but we'll make an honest attempt to do it. But we also want credit for what we're doing. We want to make sure that there's some resources to get the job done, both federal and state. And we want to make sure that we're giving proper credit to the farmers who are actually already getting it done, right? That's a really important part of this conversation.
So thanks for bringing it up, and I really appreciate the fact that you're a partner. I don't know, I think that Pennsylvania kind of got out in front of this, and then maybe there's some other areas that didn't get out in front of it as much, and if you've already done great work, having that recognized and making sure that we're going to be able to continue to effectively, efficiently, and cost effectively deliver the products we need to with the chemicals that are so vitally important, and at the same time protect our water sources is important. So I appreciate that you're partnering with local farmers to help make sure we get it done effectively.
It's important. I mean, I think everybody's assumed this narrative around the issue of the Chesapeake Bay and the TMDL and the WIP 3. From our perspective, has been wrong, right? Because it's assumed that everybody, there's this homogenous group of producers, and you and I know that you have all shapes, sizes, the diversity of this farm show, and our theme speaks to that diversity as well. But when we did the survey, 60% of the farmers are actually already doing everything we've asked them to do. So they should just keep moving. Let's put our focus and energy into those who need some encouragement, some help to get the job done.
Where we can improve, great, thanks so much. So another thing that I hear about an awful lot right now, people open their refrigerator, they pull out a gallon or a quart or a half gallon of milk. Price seems okay, but I got to tell you, for dairy farmers right now, they're struggling with the price and the premium on milk. It's a real problem. What can you tell me about that?
Well, I mean, it's you look at agriculture today in Pennsylvania. I mean, it's our leading agricultural sector, dairy is. So what happens to it speaks volumes for what happens to the rest of Pennsylvania agriculture. But we are in a really difficult spot with dairy. It's the pocket of pain that I bump into most frequently. There was some hope that as we enter 2018 that price would change and would improve a little bit, and I'm still hopeful, by the way, that happens, but it's not going to happen as quick as we would like it to or need to. We have focused in on our processing, really taking a hard look at dairy processing in Pennsylvania, conducted a study at the Center for Dairy Excellence, and we've entertained a lot of conversations with some of the processors about how to do that and what product would that be. But it's one of those that I would think for the committee and for the department, there's not a simple answer to that. But we've got to sort of stay in it and try to find some things that we can do to build the capacity, not on the production side, but on the processing side.
Sure. So yeah, I think I understand, but I'm going to get together with a group of farmers and hopefully in this next week or two and talk about that issue and bring it to the committee.
Yeah.
You know, there's some things that have been looked at. You know, transparency is a big thing that people are talking about and what goes into the price of a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
But we appreciate again the department working with farmers to make sure that we have an ongoing healthy, you know, dairy production operation here in the state of Pennsylvania. And I was fortunate enough to talk to the veterinarian general, Dr. Wolfgang, a few minutes ago. We were talking about food safety, but really he was talking about from the perspective that food grown locally is safe food. If you start importing things from all over the place, particularly when you start importing vegetables and fruits from foreign countries, and meats, and fish, you know, you can oftentimes enter something into the ecosystem here that is something that wasn't meant to be here, not as safe as what we're doing here, and could be problematic.
Well, he's spot on. I mean, I think, you know, I go to the issues that we have around spotted lanternfly, separate topic, I get it, but the point is that came through a port. It came from some foreign land, right, into the United States for the first time. That can happen with diseases, it can happen with plant disease, animal disease, food safety concerns. So
it comes into our food source, and then we talk about invasive species, and you hit spotted lanternfly. They're kind of there. You know, a couple years ago we had a hearing on stink bugs, and you don't know what's right around the corner and how that might even impact our ability to export Pennsylvania products.
That's a big issue, right? So that's one of the concerns. We've got it here, we're managing it. But since we're the first in the United States for that particular invasive pest, there's the possibility that other states and even other countries would say we really don't want Pennsylvania product. So we're working hard to make sure that doesn't happen with our trading partners and our U.S. Department of Agriculture, but it's a good example of just how fragile this system is of imports and exports, and then how do we manage these things? Then how do you come up with enough resources, right? That's our big challenge. How do you come up with enough resources to really fight this?
So, and look, that's what the farm show is all about, right? There's a lot of fun that goes on here, but there's a lot of serious science that goes into all the work. We just met with some youth here, so it's an important continuum of what we're trying to accomplish here in the state of Pennsylvania. Secretary Redding, I'm thrilled that you're at the helm. It's been an honor to work with you on the committee. I know you've been in the district very many times, and we appreciate this ongoing productive relationship. Thank you very much.
Pleasure's mine. Thanks for your good work in the Ag Committee. Thank you.
Thanks.